Today I'm going to build a Christmas tree soldering kit with surface mount parts. This is level 3, it says here. But these are usually 805 size soldering parts. Components, 805 components. So they shouldn't prevent too much difficulty. I see 2 transistors that are, I think they're called SOTs, and they're pretty small, but not a big challenge. So let's open it up and see what we got. Good instructions. That's a primary requirement for a good kit. So this kit is a Whadda, W-H-A-D-D-A, Exciting Electronics, SMD, Xmas Tree, WSSA142, seasonal soldering gadget. So definitely made for soldering practice. It's pretty small, doesn't have a whole lot of parts. I'm going to open it up in my tray before I even look at the instructions. These small bags are hard to get open. So there we go. Those are all the parts that are included. Let's hope they're all we need. There's the little PCB. It looks quality, looks good quality. You can see those little transistor pads are very small and close together. These may not in fact be 805s, but may be in fact 603s. I'm not really sure. I think they're 805s. Yeah. So we have some resistors. These are 471 ohm. These are 473 ohm. Now I'm wondering, the numbers on these go 471, so these would be 470 ohm. That last number is the number of zeros. These would be 47 kilo ohm. I think these are the LEDs. Now you see these LEDs have 3 pins, 3 legs. So that's going to be a challenge. I can see. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs like that. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resistors, 2 capacitors, and 2 transistors. So let's try and do this all in one shot. And I see we have this piece which is probably for a jumper, but I don't see a jumper on here. Oh, this is to hang it. This wire is to hang it. And we have the battery, which is probably a 2032 button cell battery. And then we have, these are the, what the heck are these? These are the capacitors. So they give you an extra capacitor. So let's look at the instructions. So they're saying maximum 25 watt. I have my soldering iron set at 425 degrees centigrade. Whether that's what it truly is, I don't know, but it melts the solder good. I'm going to be using a knife edge tip, which I find is good because you can angle it. You can angle it in such a way that it gets at almost any tiny spot. But you just have to be careful not to touch other things with it when you're using it. So it says start resistors 471 and 47K, R1 through R6, and R7 and R8. So then transistors, then LEDs, then capacitors, then the battery. And here is a schematic. So we see all the resistors go to ground. The 470 ohm resistors are the current limiting resistors for the LEDs. There's 6 of them. Then the 47K resistors are connected to the capacitors. And there are, looks like 2 transistors. Yes, there are 2 transistors. So this looks like a multi, what do they call it? A multi-vibrator circuit with 2 transistors crossed over to 2 capacitors. So pretty simple circuit. So this should be a lot of fun. Okay, let's get started with these 470 ohm resistors. That's R1. I'm gonna tin 1 pad for each resistor. R1, R6, R2, R5, R3, and R4. Put a little more tin on that. What we need is a good pair of tweezers. And these are moderately good. They were inexpensive. I got a whole kit full of them. But they do the job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just dumped them out there and flip them over with the tweezers. Someone said to just pick them up and drop them to turn them over. That's probably a pretty good idea. There we go. All right. So let's grab one, and we'll do R4 first. First, I like to lay it down on there, let go of it with the tweezers so it's flat, then get it all lined up with my wrist, touch the solder, and slide it in there. And then I'll come back and do the other side. Now normally I like to use the magnifying glass with the lamp, but to make it easier to do video with this cell phone camera. I'm just gonna wing it. Now you don't want to keep the soldering iron touching against the component for very long. Only about a second or two, because you'll burn out the component. So the best thing to do is to just touch the solder to the pad, melt the soldering iron to the pad, melt the solder, and place the component. But this is not always as simple as it sounds. And it pays to take a second and turn the work to get the pads and the component lined up better to work with. So now I'm going to do the other side of each one. And that you could use enough solder to get it on. The component and cover the pad. That didn't work out well. You need to turn it. I see I missed one. I knocked it off. Well, nothing ever goes right the first time. Alright, and then we can go back. What is a good idea to do is put a drop of flux on the original side that you soldered first. And just go back and touch it. I don't like that. And you can probably hear the fan running in the background. Let's keep the fumes out of my face. Alright, and this one looks pretty good. Let's just touch that one. If you use more solder, you'll get the flux from the solder. And that makes the weld better, the joint better. So I lost one somewhere in the process. I thought I had 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I only had 5. That 6th one didn't fall out. Okay. So let's get this facing the right direction. Let's pick this up and drop it a few times. There, it worked the first time. Again, drop that on the PCB so it's flat. Heat the pad, melt the solder, slide that into place. Hold it, let it dry, let it cool, and you're all set. Then the soldering iron touches the pad, but probably not the not the component. And the solder will just work its way to the component. That way you won't burn the component. Now we got two more of these 47,000. So let's see if I can't do this a little easier. There's one. It came flying out. There's the other one. Do the old pick up and drop. Perfect. Alright, let's see about those. That's R7 and R8. Those are the 47,000 kiloohms, 47 kiloohms, 47 K ohms, however you want to say that. Now notice how I hold the tweezers from on top. I don't grip them like a pencil. And that makes them a little steadier. Heat the pads, slide the component in. Let it dry, let it cool. Keep it flat. Don't make that one. Alright, we'll come back and fix that. What also is important is to keep the solder in a straight line. If you have a curve on the solder, that piece of solder sticking out is curved, that doesn't always work out too well. So I decided rather than using the flux, I'm gonna keep adding solder. And that adds a little new flux. Alright. That looks good. Let me take a look under my magnifying glass. They all look good. Okay, so next, the instructions say to do the transistors. That's these guys. Look how tiny these guys are. So they are right in the middle. And what I'm going to do first is put a tiny bit of solder on one pad, the pad on the one side. And I'm going to try and get those out of the package. Okay, that was a little crooked, but I think it'll do. They don't have to be absolutely perfect. Now these sides can be tricky. So again, you want a nice straight piece of solder. I'm gonna need my lens to do these. I don't know if you could see that right through the lens. Sorry about that. This one is a little too crooked. I'm going to line that up a little better. Hopefully they won't sue me for having the radio on in the background. I forgot to turn it off. Okay, we want to get these sides a little better. These original sides that we just... The idea is to just tack it down in place, lined up, and then solder the other two pieces, the other two legs. Then you could just touch these up. That looks good to me. So as you can see, the LEDs are next. The LEDs are going to be next, and these are going to be hard. So these LEDs are the most sensitive part. So you really don't want the soldering iron to touch the LED, the plastic on the LED. That one went nice. These tweezers don't like this one. Let me try a different pair of tweezers. Oh, those are even worse. Hold on a minute, I'm gonna pause you. Okay, sorry about that. I'm getting a better pair of tweezers out. Ah, much better. And every once in a while your hands will get the shakes. That's perfectly normal. I understand. We'll fix that later on. Nice. Now I'm going to turn it around to get the other two. I'm hoping you can see all this. That is about how it should be done. Disregard the way I did the other ones. This isn't gonna work. Here we go. Again, we're just tacking on the one leg or the one pin so that it lines up. That's not on. And you can tap it down too if you'd like, if it doesn't come even. So now I got to do these small sides with the two pins on each side. So these can be a little tricky, but some people like to watch this being done, and I find this very comfortable to do. It's not like I worry about it when I'm doing it. The trick is you don't want to hold that soldering iron too long on that pad. That touched the wrong place, but no harm done. Again, keep the solder straight. Now we'll just go back and touch up. Maybe you don't even need to. Maybe this one. All right, that's the worst of it. Now these capacitors are nice and fun. We don't need the magnifier for the capacitors, I don't think. Now, I'm pretty sure the black end is the negative. Let's see what the instructions say. Capacitor, the black end, electrolytic capacitor. The black end goes to I can't make that out. It goes to the round side. You see that? The black end goes to the positive. All right, I was wrong. It's not really black. It's a little white stripe, a little brown stripe. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put solder on the positive pad. Well, this one I'll put it on the negative pad, so I don't have to do it again. So it's telling me, let me just double check. There it is. I don't know if you can see that. See that plus sign is the round part of the pad has the marking on it. So that's the plus sign. The round part of the pad gets the marking. Let's try and get that in the picture. That's all it takes. Now this one is going in the other direction. Ah, that one I don't like. That one's crooked. Let's go a little bit to the left. Now we'll just go back and touch up the original side. Nice and shiny. So that is complete. Now I'm gonna turn it over. And we got the battery, and it should tell us which way the polarity on the battery goes. That one has the plus. See it? That little plus? So which end is the plus on the battery? I think the top is the plus on the battery. So it goes like this. Okay, all done. Let's see what we need. We need a CR2032 battery. So I'm gonna have to hit pause or stop. Okay, here goes. We put the battery in and see what happens. Finished product. Are they all blinking at the same time? I can't tell. I don't think they are. I think they're blinking a little different. Well, there you have it. Let's see what it says about the part about hanging it up on the Christmas tree. Doesn't say anything. But I'm just thinking we could take this wire that they gave us and bend it like a hook. And there's my little craft project. I hope you like it. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, give me a rumble, give me a subscribe. I would suggest you go to locals because I'll put this on locals too. I hope they don't get me in trouble for the music in the background. Thanks again.